We have a horrible storm. We have orange alert warning and it has been snowing since evening. So I don't know how to show you. It's been like this. I don't know how we will go to work. So today is home office for everybody, even if the schools are closed. I kind of like it when the weather is like that. It's a bit scary but exciting at the same time. Hello my lovely friends. I'm starting a new vlog. It's Monday today. We have a horrible snowstorm. We have orange warning alert. No one is working. Well, it's not no one. Those who can work from home are working from home today. There are many car accidents. It's very windy. The wind gusts overturned the cars on a highway. Today is my day off, so I'm not working. As you may know from the previous video, I'm nearly finishing my sweater, ash rose sweater with a collar. What I have to do is now to try it on and to see if the sleeves and the sweater itself is the right length. And what I want to do is, I don't want the ribbing, I just want to fold it and to sew. So yesterday I tried it on a sample like this, and here I tried two different techniques. One is I sewed live stitches and you can see there's a little bump. It's like a step. You can't see anything here. It's nice, but it feels like very thick. Then I bound off the stitches and then I sewed it to the fabric. That's very nice, and when I use the same color it won't be seen at all, and it's flat, way flatter than this one. When I was about to start knitting this part, I took a different color thread and threaded like one on the through the live stitches on my needle and continued knitting. I knitted 5 rounds, so it's 5 rows here, then purl and knitted 4. And when I was sewing, now you can't see because it's in there, so I had to grab, so imagine this was the blue line, so I had to grab the stitches that were above, so I didn't have to look to count which row I should grab like the yarn. It was all above, and you can see how like I didn't make a mistake. Then I was looking at my collar, and you know those teeth, like those little zigzaggy things, they are okay, but I wanted them to be a bit smaller. Can you see how 3D it looks? I used very thick yarn here. It's 100 meters per 50 gram. I simply knitted part of the collar to see if I can incorporate this pattern, this method into the collar. I think it's very nice. And when the yarn is thinner, they will be very delicate and neat. What do you think? Which color is better? So I played with that one. It was yesterday. So yesterday was sample knitting. Then I found a photo and a description how to knit this pattern. It's a very 3D pattern with like, it makes kind of 2 layers. You can see that it's like on the top of the fabric. So it's an interesting technique of knitting. What I didn't like here were those like meeting points, and there were holes. So I tried to adjust it a little bit. I just crossed them and the gap closed. It's a very nice technique. I don't know how it looks on camera, but there is one thing I'm not happy with. These stitches are not very neat. You can see this yarn and that yarn, and this is a bit bigger, this is smaller, and they are not right under one another, you know, like so I don't think I will use it, though it was nice to try. I've never done this before. So that was my yesterday's work as well. And then I found another type of knitting socks using 2 strands of yarn, and I fell in love with it. At first I tried gray and white, but it was too low of a contrast. So then I took dog brown, just the scrap yarns that I had, and it changed the picture. It looks so neat, so tidy, and it's extremely easy to knit. So these were my works. Well, I knitted more samples. I had, how many? I had 9 techniques, 9 new techniques to try out. I haven't tried one, and I knitted the rest. And I unraveled others because I didn't like. Oh, so here are 5 techniques. When I was knitting the Ashrow sweater with the collar, you will see when I show you, like the neckline, when you have the deepening of the neck, right? Here I was knitting back and forth, and the edge stitch, I tried to knit it as nice and neat as I could, but it's not very neat. And when I attached the collar, it looks a bit wonky and like not neat. And I was trying different ways, though it's too late to change, how to make a neat edge. And I came across this technique. It's not an I-cord. It uses 2 stitches, but it's not an I-cord. The wind is howling. It would be so nice and neat. Can you see? Now it's too late, but the lesson is learned. So I got so obsessed with this. So late at night, I went to my sock yarn cupboard, took out half of the yarns and tried to look for different combinations, like color combinations. And I want to knit a pair of socks for my colleague's husband. He's also my colleague, and he wanted something crazy. So I thought I would do gray, like for the men, like masculine color, and a bit of pink extravaganza. It looks so clean. It looks so clean, like perfect. Now I'm making increases for the heel, and you can see it's also very clean, no mess, nothing. A perfect pattern. And by the way, it would be very nice if you subscribe to my channel and left a comment. I love your comments, I read your comments, and I want to apologize for not answering some of the comments, but they went to another folder and I didn't know that it exists. And one day I was like wandering through my channel and found this folder with like maybe 10 comments, and I hadn't answered them. So I answered them, so sorry for the late answer. Now I know that sometimes comments go to the weird places and I have to check there. So my apologies for that. So much for today. So I've already planned what I will do next. I have my notes here. I have 7 knits I want to do. I will take most probably 3 again. 2 bigger projects and 1 accessory, and then work on them. See you tomorrow. Bye. Wish me luck. I have to walk my dog in this snowstorm. It's getting worse and worse. At the moment, I'm knitting socks with this beautiful, amazing pattern. It's very easy to knit, and it gives such a nice, clean look. Wonderful. So I knitted this for like size 45. And it looks like that. How I knit it. So you have 2 colors, dark and light. The first round is always with the dark color, and you simply knit. The second round with the light yarn, you knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. And this simple combination of knitting 1 round and knit purl and the second round gives this stunning effect. Isn't that wonderful? Good morning. It's Saturday morning. Very nice winter morning. We have -5 and sun, you can see. So it's a very nice sunny day. And I had my lazy morning, and now I'm going to film and show you what I've been doing and what are my plans and also my purchases, because I had to get some yarn for what I want to knit. So let's get started. First, I knitted a pair of socks using this pattern. I knitted on needles 2.5. It's thick yarn, but I love the socks to be a bit sturdy and not so floppy. And this yarn is Drops Fiesta. That's a new yarn. I don't know how it wears, but it's like woolly and not too soft, but not rough. I like it. It was pleasant to knit. And it's 110 meters per 50 gram. And the gray yarn that I used is Socky yarn. I don't know who the producer is of this yarn, but you can get it in Norway. And I like the combination. It's neither too light, this gray, not too dark. And I think it can go with many colors, especially the weird color combinations that we sometimes find in a ball, and it will nicely blend in the colors. So this is size 45. You can see it's big. So this is. Then my friend, another colleague, saw the pattern, saw the sock, and said, I also want this. So I started knitting, but I ran out of gray, so I ordered 4 balls of gray. I do have some balls that I don't want to knit using just one color. I don't think it will look nice, and I think this might be an option. So I started this. It's only one. Then I decided to try like how it looks using other color combinations. I was knitting socks for my colleague for Christmas, and I had some leftover balls. This is a bit thinner yarn, so I found a bit thinner gray. It's darker, and I tried, and I wanted to see how it looks. It also looks good. This is like sock for size 43, and it's also 2.20, no, and the needles are 2.25, a bit thinner, and it is not thick. You can see it's like it's proper sock, the way I imagine the sock. So these were my current works. Hey. And I haven't finished the sweater with the collar, and today and on Sunday I'm going to work. Hopefully I can finish it today and wash it and show it in all its glory. Because it's the last sweater on my needles, I started thinking what else I can knit. And I made a list of 7 projects. So let's start. The first project is a sweater by South Korean designer. Here are the photos. I liked the shape of the raglan line, and I liked how increases are made. I think that's the raglan line that I've always wanted to knit, but could not think how to make it. And I bought the pattern, and I started thinking what yarn I could use for it. My first wish was to use this. It's lime green. No, it's not lime green. And Eco Puno by Lana Grossa and Tin Silk by Sandnes Garn. And I thought it would be so nice with those lines. It's not too dark. You can see those like little increase decorative things, and it will be thin because it requires thin yarn. As you can see, it didn't work, and I will explain why. Then I thought maybe this emerald green. It's Baby Ulla Net by Sandnes Garn. It has 175 meters. The pattern says it has to be 400 meters in a 100-gram ball, or 200 meters in 50 grams. So this was close. This one has over 200 meters. So I thought 250 maybe. So I thought if I add a mow here and knit a bit tighter, maybe that would be similar thickness. Or this one, that's also Baby Ulla Net, just nice burgundy color. Then I started reading further. It says to use needles 3 for the neckline and 4 for the main body. As you can see in the photo, it's knitted quite dense. And for me, the question is how can you knit a dense fabric using needles number 4 and yarn that is 200 meters per 50 gram. That's sock yarn. And sock yarn we usually knit on size 2, and this is size 4, and the texture, the density, you can see like it's not see-through, it's normal density. So it's a bit, I don't get it. Honestly, I don't know what to do. And it requires to cast on over 130 stitches for sizes XS, S, and like the small sizes. I casted 120 and my neckline was like this. Like it was huge. Just imagine how many stitches do you cast on needles 3? Like 104, 106, something like that, 110 maximum. And here 130 something. So that's another like thing, like, hey, stop, think what you're doing. Something is not okay. Then I decided to take this. It says knit on needles 2.5 and 3. So I knitted the neckline on needles 2, and I'm knitting the body on needles 3 instead of 4. The tutorial just for the short rows, German short rows, is nearly 3 hours. I don't know how to knit, how long it will take to knit other parts. It's explained in Korean, and I do not understand anything. I just try to follow. It's very complicated. I think I'm getting everything right. You can see those increases here a little bit. I think I'm getting everything right. It's full of markers. We will see. So I did the neckline. It took me maybe 3 hours. Now I'm 1 hour on this tutorial. It will be my most difficult sweater, I think. Like, hopefully I get the system and then I can knit myself. So this was my first sweater and I'm knitting it. Not all of the sweaters I'm going to knit. The second sweater was half fisherman's rib, and I showed you the yarn that I bought, and I want it to be like 2-colored because I think it gives nice dimension, and I have the yarn. The third project is pied de poule. I'm not a French person, but I think it's pied de poule. I was thinking what kind of yarn to use. I can always go to light gray and dark gray combination, but I checked my yarn stash and I came across this pink. It's wonderful pink, and I found in the shop, well, I ordered this brown, and this is a bit thinner, but I have thicker mohair. So I think I will join these 2 colors. I bought this 7 balls of this, and yesterday I went to the shop and bought this color, brown. So it will be pied de poule, sweater. I imagine it to be wide, oversized with white sleeves. So it's like a cozy winter knit, and with a different color choice than usual. I think it will look nice. We will see. So I bought this yarn. This I had in my stash. Then I wanted to knit a Sophie scarf for myself. In the previous videos, you saw me knitting one Sophie scarf for one of my colleagues, and it was like dark sage, and another deep blue. So they are wearing bright, though like muted colored scarves. I usually wear my beigey brown scarf, but I thought, well, maybe I should sometimes wear something like dark and bright, just to make us all match. So I ordered 2 balls of Lana Gatos Super Soft. Before, this yarn wasn't available in Norway. It was available in Lithuania and other countries, but now it's available here. So I ordered burgundy. It's a bit with a purplish, I forgot the light, guys. So it's a bit with a purplish tone. Let's hope it will be okay. This is 100% merino extra fine, and it has 125 meters. And yesterday, when I went to buy the yarn, I bought a lot of yarn yesterday. I don't like the light. I bought this. It will mute a bit of this color, and the silk will give it a bit of the sheen. This is Filcolana Tilia, silk and mohair combination. So the next sweater that is on my list is Celeste sweater by Petite Knit. That's a very simple color work, but I find it very beautiful. And as I was going through my stash, I came across Klumpe Lumpe Spot by Sandnes Garn. This yarn unfortunately is discontinued. It's super squishy and soft. It is 40% alpaca, 40 merino and 20 nylon. I was choosing between these colors for the color work, but I didn't have the color for the body, and I couldn't find anything as soft as this and to match the same meterage. I couldn't find online in Norway anywhere, but luckily I found in one of the shops in Lithuania, and I ordered, and this yarn is waiting for me there. So my friends are coming next month to visit me, and they will bring the yarn, so I can knit Celeste sweater. This is pure softness. Okay, and the last on my list is this sweater. Is this the last? Yes. The sweater that I found in a Norwegian magazine. I saw it in real life. Before I found this pattern, long time ago, maybe 2 years ago, I saw a woman in the shop wearing it. Her sweater was knitted using 2 strands, a thick strand of wool and a strand of mohair. It was white and it looked so beautiful that I came to her and asked if she knitted it herself, and she said yes. She couldn't give me the pattern, she didn't know, she found it somewhere. So my dream was lost. But one day I was listing some magazines and found this sweater, and I remembered that it's exactly the same sweater I wanted to knit. The only problem about it is that it's knitted bottom up and it has raglan lines. I've never knitted a sweater bottom up with raglan lines. But I have a Norwegian neighbor, an old lady that we knit together and drink coffee, have knitting our knitting cafe time. So I hope she can help me. For people who can understand the charts without any explanations, so this is like that. This is for the body. This is for the arm. If you find it useful, make a screenshot. Oh, and one more sweater I forgot to tell you. Another sweater is a dark sweater with camel colored diamonds. I think I haven't seen this color work anywhere. I just saw the picture. Later I found the scheme on Pinterest and I decided that I need it. I went into my stash and found this yarn that I bought in a thrift store, sweater quantity, and superwash, 100 meters or 50 gram. Not the softest, I would say, but I decided I have to use up my stash more this year. And I had this gray from Filcolana Chilia. It's like muted foggy blue, bluish, and this is nice proper gray, but I thought maybe it would make it a bit darker and give a nice gray halo, but I wasn't very sure. So when I went to the shop yesterday, I saw a perfect match, and I bought the mohair for it. And for the diamonds, I ordered lanolin wool. This is the same wool that I will be using for the brown and pink one, and the same yarn I used for my color work, recent gray color work sweater. And I found, for this, luckily I found the mohair in my stash. So it will be like this. What do you think? I'm not going to knit all 7 projects at the same time. And I chose 4. So first you could see the Korean pattern. Very, very complicated. Then I want to knit this color work. Then I want to knit this one. And as you know, color work is not my favorite way of knitting, and they are full sweater color works. So it will be a challenge for me, but maybe I will knit slower and then my knitting process can last longer. And I will knit Sophie's scarf. So these are 4 projects. When I was in the shop yesterday, I saw some yarn on sale, and it was perfect by Sanna's Garn, and it was like lava orange. The light is not very good. It doesn't help. It's lava orange, bright lava orange. It was on sale and it's very good. It's really good for socks. And I thought with the gray or lighter gray, it can be a nice combination. So I bought 4 balls. So they usually cost around like 56 kroners, about 5-something euros, 5-6 euros. And now it was 25, so it was 2.5 euros, maybe closer to 3. So half price. And that's it. I don't have anything else to show you. It's a beautiful place now, with lots of yarn, lots of mohair. And I don't want to tidy it. I want to dive into all this beauty. I think I have showed you everything I had. Enjoy your knitting. Enjoy your yarns. Enjoy your purchases. Enjoy the projects and patterns.